Welcome back. Come on in. Welcome to Weather on the Go. All your weather coverage on this Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. And we are keeping an eye on a powerful storm system that brings very heavy rain, life-threatening flash flooding, very heavy snow, very high winds, you name it, across the western United States. We're also going to be tracking your Thanksgiving week forecast here as well. Any storms that'll be moving across the country, you have it covered right here on the channel, so might as well subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information so you have that information at your disposal, and make sure to turn on the post notification bell so you are notified when my videos are posted in the future. Like the video, it's very important. Press the thumbs up button, it helps out to get this information passed to more and more people, and of course leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those after the video. Where we see it right now, we have a cold front across the eastern United States, and this front actually cooled us down over the past couple of days. But a reinforcing shot of cold air is moving in across the northern part of the United States today, and you can see where that colder air is, and it's moving all the way over here from west to east across the United States, with the coldest of the air across southern Canada and the far northern tier of the United States, with that reinforcing shot of cold air with that second cold front. And you can see this morning our temperatures were in the teens, even single digits in the highest of elevations out there. In the Rockies, we started in the teens in parts of North Dakota, the 20s in Minnesota and South Dakota, all the way down here to Amarillo. We're at 30 degrees below freezing this morning, and this afternoon we're only warming to 52 degrees in Amarillo, Texas, 40 degrees in Des Moines, 48 in Lincoln, Nebraska, and 30 in the Minneapolis-St. Paul vicinity this afternoon. So it's going to be chilly the further north that you do go, and this will continue over the next couple of days. Here we go on Thursday, the colder air moving into more of the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and into the southeast. That'll really continue in earnest as we go into Friday and end the week as well. And you can see we have a couple powerful storm systems, the strongest of which is off of the Pacific Northwest. This actually yesterday got down to 940 millibars, folks, one of the strongest low pressure systems we've seen across the West Coast in quite some time. We got an upper level trough across the Great Lakes and the Midwest, bringing some pesky rain and snow showers over the next couple of days. So we have a mishmash of weather alerts across the country here. We actually have blizzard warnings up into North Dakota. This is northern North Dakota, and it's not about the amount of snow why we have the blizzard warning. It's because the snow is going to be blowing around as we go into North Dakota there. We have high wind warnings across this area, wind advisories in the tan shaded color, red flag warnings. We still have dry soil, drought continues, and windy conditions. That's a recipe for wildfire danger. And then out west, we have flood watches across portions of northwest California, southwest Oregon, where life-threatening flash flooding is a big concern out there. So looking first at the winds, yeah, they're going to be blowing with gusto across portions of the Dakotas into northern Nebraska, easily gusting over 50, 60 miles per hour, especially in those high wind warning areas. And that is definitely going to be blowing around some of the snow showers up there this afternoon. So it doesn't take much, just a little light snow shower, 50, 60 mile per hour winds, and the visibility will start to get restricted across northern North Dakota this afternoon. And then that snow will move out further east into tonight. Actually, don't be surprised. You walk out your door in Green Bay or Rockford, Illinois, Chicago, even into the Fort Wayne, Indiana area, and you see snowflakes. That's definitely a possibility as we go into tonight. It's going to be a little bit more of a wind-driven snow across this area, and then big problems out west. I mean, we're talking very heavy rains, northern California, southwest Oregon, higher elevations, the northern Sierras, the Cascades, absolutely getting hammered with snow through tonight. That'll continue as we go into Thursday, into Friday as well. So the moisture out there definitely going to be adding up here, and we're easily talking rainfall totals that could be double digits here in Northern California in parts of southwestern Oregon here, and it seems the bullseye is Northern California. We could literally be seeing areas of localized 20 inches worth of rain, folks. That is a lot of runoff that could produce some life-threatening flash flooding. That is why the Weather Prediction Center has gone ahead and put a moderate risk of flash flooding here across northwest California here. The closer to the coast you get, the worse it will be. And then as we go into Thursday, this is tomorrow, large moderate risk and a smaller high risk of flash flooding. A high risk has not been issued in northwest California in this area in over 10 years. So this is a big deal. And then that'll continue for the northern Sierras with that moderate risk of some flash flooding, with a mix of rain and those very heavy snow showers, creating a lot of water logging out there as we go into Friday. And just to recap here, moderate risk for flash flooding. Numerous flash floods are likely. This may affect larger tributary rivers here. High risk for flash flooding means widespread flash floods expected. Areas that don't normally flood could in this situation. And again, it's a rare high risk for flash flooding in that part of northwest California. Again, hasn't happened in over a decade. So looking at snowfall, we're going to be seeing that pesky low pressure system across the Great Lakes that could bring us a couple inches of snow. Really nothing that will stick to the pavement probably, but probably some grassy surfaces here and there, maybe an inch here, an inch there, really not that big of a deal. The higher accumulations will be in West Virginia into the mountains there. The Appalachians could be seeing up to 6 to 12 inches of snow in those areas. Otherwise, it's really the out west is where we're seeing the snow. The ski resorts out here, the Cascades, the northern central Sierras, we're going to get absolutely hammered with snow. This will translate over into Idaho, western portions of Montana. I mean, folks, we're talking 140 inches worth of snow between now and Saturday in some of these areas in the higher elevations of the Pacific Northwest. And that could cause travel troubles out there. You know, Northern California, we're going to see a lot of those very high, if not extreme impacts from the travel standpoint here with your winter severity index here across Northern California. Maybe more pesky snow showers here across the Great Lakes may, have a little bit more minor travel impacts or limited travel impacts. But other than that, we're just seeing some colder air. And you can see that as we go into Saturday. Here's the cold air that we see to start the weekend. And that freezing line goes all the way down into the deep south as we start the day on Saturday. And we recover nicely across the southern plains and Dixie Alley into the 50s to 60s, even some rogue 70s out there for high temperatures Saturday afternoon. But it's colder to the north. We're not out of the 20s in North Dakota, northern Minnesota, or even northeastern South Dakota. We're going to remain in the 20s for highs on Saturday, and then we do it all over again on Sunday. Maybe a touch warmer for the central U.S. as we pull that 32-degree line a little bit further north Sunday morning. But look at that, single digits for northern Montana, teens for North Dakota here. A chilly start to the day. And those areas will remain in the teens and 20s for highs Sunday afternoon. So winter is coming for the northern United States if it's not there already. And just to add insult to injury here, we're going to see a lot more snow, a lot more rain out west as we go into Saturday, into Sunday as well. Maybe some pesky snow showers across the southern Canadian prairies and also the northern United States like Montana, North Dakota, northern Minnesota. Will be watching out for that. And then beyond the weekend, as we go into next week here, this is the pattern we're looking at. To start the new work week on Monday, November 25th, that colder air will be oozing down from Canada into the central United States. That'll push east. We'll have another reinforcing shot behind that by midweek on Wednesday. That'll be a much stronger wave of cold air, this time making it all the way to the Gulf Coast and down into Florida with below normal temperatures after Thanksgiving on Friday, November 29th, and that will end the month of November. And looking at that, we're going to have a highway for storms to move across the United States. So we're just going to see a lot of low pressure systems moving in from the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest, traversing across the Rockies and then through the Ohio Valley and the Northeast. And you can see that trajectory here from west to east. A lot of moisture moving in. The heaviest of the moisture, obviously, will be back in California, the Sierras, northern California, into Oregon, into Idaho. That'll translate through the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and up into the Northeast, including the I-95 corridor through next week. So let's walk you through that on Monday. This is November 25th. And again, take this with a grain of salt. The actual track intensity of these storms are a little bit uncertain, but gives you an idea of how active next week will be. You can see a pesky low pressure system, perhaps collapse there into Lake Michigan. Some rain on the warm side, some lighter snow on the backside there in Ontario, maybe the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Heavy snows for the Sierras on Monday. Very heavy rain there in the lower elevations of California. That'll continue on Tuesday. Tuesday looks like an uneventful day for a lot of us in the United States, unless you're on either coast, the West Coast or the East Coast. Bigger storm may move into the Rockies on Wednesday, just in time for Thanksgiving travel. This will be something to watch, as we could have some moderate to heavy bands of snow for Idaho, southern Montana, Wyoming, Utah, even western Colorado there west of Denver, and then that could translate downstream. Now, this isn't set in stone, but this European model here today is showing 993 millibars somewhere into western Missouri. Northern side, colder air, that could produce some wetter snow, and then maybe some severe weather with heavy rain on the warmer side here further south toward Dixie Alley in the southeast. This is not set in stone. The track of the system is key, and also the intensity is key with this. We'll keep you updated, but this is a picture that we could see on Thanksgiving Day, and then Friday that could translate further east toward the mid-Atlantic, the northeast here, and portions of the southeast, with yet another storm moving in across the west coast. So talk about busy here, folks. We're going to see a lot of moisture across the United States, the heaviest in Oregon, California, but even some decent moisture here in those areas that really need it beneficially here across the Ohio Valley, the mid-Atlantic, and the northeast. And we are keeping an eye on that snow track that could potentially come to fruition later next week, closer to Thanksgiving. If we get that colder air in place, that does set the foundation for the potential at these storm systems on the northern and the northwestern side of them could, start to ooze out some snow from those clouds as we go into later next week. And we will keep you covered right here on this channel. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Turn on post notification bell so you are notified when the videos are posted. Give it a like, folks. I cannot stress this enough. The like button helps out more than you know. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on after the video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.